Hi, I'm Nerida Conway. Welcome to chefmasterclasses.com. I'm very excited today to be standing next to this genius, Martin Boetz from Longrain, Sydney and Melbourne.
Yes.
Yes, and soon to dominate the world.
Oh.
One step at a time, hey?
chefmasterclasses.com.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We're global, you know. Anyway, today we're here talking about some beautiful pork belly.
Yeah.
And this particular pork belly is from Clover Valley Fine Foods. Mm-hmm. Now, we get a lot of emails from our members asking about pork belly, and I have to tell you that I love eating it. It's probably one of my top 10 favourite foods, but I would no more buy it than fly to the moon just because I don't know what to do with it. And I don't know what it looks like, I don't know what to ask for. So how should it look and what should we
Well, this one is pre-prepared, so basically you don't have to do anything to it because the bone, as the name suggests, it's belly, so it comes from the underside of the pig, and it does have ribs running through it usually. So they've all been taken out and removed, and you can see where they would have been in those areas there. So there's nice fat content in between there. This particular pig has got great meat to fat ratio.
And is this about the amount that I would get if it was just cooking for my husband and I?
Yeah, and obviously have a little bit left over. So
always.
Yeah, and I always buy more anyway. I'd rather have too much than too little.
Yeah.
And if you're going to prepare, and pork belly for me, it suggests slow cooking. So this piece, which is probably about 800 grams, would probably be enough for 2 or 3
Beautiful
people. So slow cooking, again, you know, you could do it Western style, or obviously we're doing the master stock pork belly today, and that is a slow cooking process, 3 to 4 hours in master stock, and it becomes a lovely golden colour, and then we're going to roast it thereafter.
Okay. Now with the skin, which becomes crackling, I struggle to get it tender and soft underneath, but also to know how to cook it without either sending it black. I mean, what is the skill to making it, if I would just want to roast this piece, for example?
Roast this piece, I probably would roast it for about an hour. I will probably roast this piece for about an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'd start, for the first 20 minutes, I'd start it on quite a high heat. I'd rub it with salt and a little bit of vinegar first.
Oh.
And the salt and vinegar helps the skin, well, it takes in the acid, and the salt helps it to dry out in the cooking process, and the vinegar also helps it to crispen.
That's a great tip, because I would have always just put oil all over it. And
yeah, just salt and a little bit of white vinegar.
Yep.
Or apple cider vinegar, which would be great too.
Yeah.
Rub that in, put it in the oven at 220 degrees, and then thereafter turn it down every 15 minutes until you get to 140. So 220 for the first 20 minutes, turn it down to 200, then turn it down to 180.
Great, because I never do that. I just go burn the death out of it and then turn it right down, and it kind of burns.
Yeah, so we're just turning it down gradually.
Yeah.
So you're going to start off with a crisp skin, and then it will keep on getting crispy, but you're lowering the temperature, and it still allows the fat to render and it to keep that beautiful colour that you want at the end.
Off the top of your very clever brain, what are 5 dishes that I could cook with a piece of pork belly?
Well, today we're doing the master stock pork belly, which everyone's going to get the recipe for. Western way, well, something that I'm really into at the moment is being able to put this piece of pork, for example, in the oven in the morning before I go to work. In a sealed pot is something that you do need. So a heavy base, like a Le Creuset or whatever, something very heavy base pot. Put it into the oven at 100 degrees and leave it in there for about 10 hours. And then when you come home from work, you've got a ready-made meal. So that ready-made meal would be 1 head of fennel, 1 green apple, some white onion, salt and pepper, just roughly chopped up, put into the bottom of the pot. Will take you 5 minutes, not even that. My 1 piece of pork belly over the top, again, salt and pepper over that. Put the lid on the pot and in the oven at 100 degrees. When you come home, that dish guaranteed will be ready. I've done it before, and apple and fennel work really well together. And you can also use rosemary and thyme underneath there as well.
Sounds stunning. And do you need to crisp up the top, or
when you've brought it out, again, because you've had the lid on it, it's not going to be crisp. So take the lid away, and then you can put that back in the oven for about 20 minutes, as I said, and that'll caramelise on the top. It probably won't be as crisp as what a crackling would be, but it will definitely brown the top, and it'll be a delicious dinner. And then underneath, the vegetables, at cooking at such a low temperature, will still keep their texture and shape. And then you can put some freshly chopped parsley through there, or a bit of tomato or whatever, and make that into a warm salad.
Beautiful.
And then chop the pork up.
I've got a bonus recipe out of you now.
Yeah. Another one, just roasting it in the oven and then keeping it and then slicing it and using it on a sandwich.
Yes.
For the
Gotta
children.
love a pork sanger.
Yeah. And that's 3. But, you know, the slow cooking process is probably the best.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. Love it. All right, well, I'll let you off at 3 because I think if you want any more, you've got to go to long grain.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming in and doing this today. It's wonderful. Cannot wait to taste the finished product. It's
Me
in the
too.
oven at the moment.